Here, big man, I've got a question, by the way. You know, this new moon thing, I don't get it, right? Man, they could see, let's say somebody from Australia seen the moon, and somebody from Europe seen the moon. Which one would you actually consider? And how can these lunar Sabbath keepers not actually keep the same day? I don't get that.
Well, that is a rather interesting question. Well, God does tell us in His Word that it takes two witnesses to establish a matter. So, if you're having your own congregation, what you would do is have two witnesses go out. One of them saw the new moon. You just confirm it with another witness, and then it would be established that the next day would then be announced as a Sabbath and a new moon, and you would just count 7 days from then. That's the principle, okay? Now, does it really matter if somebody else from Australia has seen the new moon a day before you? Because remember that we're living in a globe, and it means that basically I think Australia is ahead of Europe. So really, if you're looking at that, when Jesus Christ returns, then I believe that the new moon will be counted from Israel, where like the saints actually are. And when I'm determining the new moon, I usually look for online witnesses from Israel that have seen the new moon there and have established it there. And if I find any around here, that's all the better. But I'm not in a congregation myself, so what I just tend to do is just establish the matter according to the witness that sometimes God shows me. But I'll look for another witness, usually in Israel, just to determine that matter. I hope this helps.
It might do, aye. I've got another question, but share this carbon dating, to date things and all that, So, the dinosaurs, the age of the dinosaurs, the age of the earth. Now, how can the Bible be true if the earth is 40,000 years old? Can you explain that?
Well, that's another good question. Carbon dating is actually quite an unreliable witness, because what scientists have actually discovered is that people that have lived at the same time, that have lived roughly about the same number of years, may have a higher carbon content in their bodies than someone who lives, let's say, 100 miles away. And this could be determined by many factors, okay? It could be determined by just burning coal, burning fuel. It could be the fact that they lived next to a steel plant, and they did have technology 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. They did actually have metal technology, metal making technology, and it was actually said that they even had, if you can believe this, anti-gravity technology back in Noah's day. So basically, again, that's something that you can check out. You can check all the videos that there's been machine wheels found from 5,000 years ago, 3,000 BC, before the actual flood was said to happen. That they found technology, they found giants and so on, basically. And it's not giantism, it's not people that are just drinking formulas to get big and all that stuff. What it is basically 20 to 30 foot giants, in which there's no explanation. They're not Homo sapien, they're actually a mix. And the Bible does give a witness of that, and actually calls them Nephilim, children of the fallen angels. So again, going back to the question, what you'd really have to establish a matter is two witnesses. So if you had another scientific method to establish the age of something, then you could use carbon dating and something else. I'm not sure what that would be. For example, maybe measuring the radiation in the atmosphere would determine, give you another dimension to actually determining the age of a fossil. Hope that helps you.
Yeah, it might do right enough. I'll check into that. So what you're saying is then, is that when Jesus says his coming's going to be like the days of Noah, does that mean there's going to be giants jumping about the street and everything like that? Do I need to get a machete ready for them fighting and stuff like that?
Well, that is a good question, because obviously during the days of Noah, Genesis 6 does say that there were giants in those days and also after that. So what the flood actually did at that time period, it wiped out all these strange flesh, which there were children of the fallen angels. They were all varieties of different species of giants, and also of animals which were genetically modified. And we see more and more today that scientists from about the late 90s have been doing this, and in the UK they have patents to actually do this as well. So that's a very good question. What I'd firstly say is just rely on Jesus Christ first of all. Make him your Lord and Saviour first of all, and secondly, just make your Lord Jesus Christ your Lord and Saviour, and he shall protect you and make sure that you are protected as well.
Aye, sounds fair enough, mate. Aye. Now, just one more question. Why did Jesus Christ turn water into wine? Was it Bucky?
Well, indeed, yes. Jesus Christ did turn water into wine at his mother's request. He was quite reluctant to begin with, but of course during that time they didn't have corner shops. They had wine merchants. They would have had very, very basic shops just for like bread and stuff like that. But at a wedding, what normally happens is that the best wine is saved to the end. But during the start of this feast, that they had run out of wine already, and Jesus' mother really pushed him to Jesus to the apostles to maybe buy some wine, and then Jesus gave them the direction to bring forth the barrels, and then he turned the water into the finest wine. Now, wine is actually good for you if you take it in moderation. It is actually good for your metabolism. It's actually good for generally your system to take wine occasionally. But certainly the wine that's produced at, I believe it's Buckfast Abbey, I'm not sure if that's the best quality wine, and I can certainly say that is not tonic wine. I don't think it's healed anybody as far as I know.
No bother, big man. Thanks anyway, pal.
Alrighty. Thanks for listening, guys, and may the Lord bless you.